What's up,
What's up, Fight Fans?
I'm
Greetings from the
Lexy,
wrestlers. Billy here.
and it's time to take it to the ring. Alrighty, guys. On this episode of Wrestlecap, we'll be reviewing AEW Rampage. Hashtag their beach break, because we're still in beach break this week.
Yeah, this was a cool episode too, man. They did not let us down.
They sure didn't. So we started off the night strong with John Moxley and Anthony Bowens. So we start off with Moxley. He's got the crowd going crazy. He's in his hometown.
Yeah, I love his music too, man. It's so fitting for him and kind of his personality. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And then we see Anthony Bowens come out, and they're just rapping, and they're like mentioning Moxley's wife in the rap.
They kind of burned him pretty bad. I can't believe they got into him that hard. I was shocked. Talk about poking the bear.
They were, and it was just like digs at his wife, and you could tell he's just like progressively like getting in a worse mood because they're talking about his wife.
That was not a smart move.
Yeah, and they're like, the network called and they said to go watch your mouth, and
which I thought was pretty funny because after last week telling the crowd member, to go F himself, I was like, that's pretty good. Even the announcers laughed. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we were there at that meeting. We heard that.
So the fights start before the bell like even goes off, and then like there are just some nasty throws. I mean, like we get a throw right into the barricade. Look at that. Yeah. And he's like thrown into the crowd, and like the referee is there like letting Moxley know like you can't do that. So there he is bowing down to her like, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was great. He like put her hand up too, like let's give it up for Aubrey.
I got this one.
It's like it's great. It's so awesome. I love that. And I've been to a couple AEW matches, and she is a crowd favorite. It's like she comes out, you don't really see it a lot on television, but when she comes out, the crowd erupts and they chant Aubrey, and she's like, calm down. We're here for the wrestlers.
It's funny because she seems like such a sweet date, like little, like this girl who's just like very sweet and date, and then she's like, taking apart these guys who are like beating the crap out of each other.
She can hold her own. She demands and earns respect.
Yeah, she sure does. And then we get let's put this up here. We've got Bowens who tries to get Moxley at the top of the ring, but Moxley soon regrets that when boom, Bowens tries to get him in a hook for a 2 count, and I was like, oh my goodness, is this over already? But we all know Moxley didn't let that happen.
No, man. He came back with vengeance. I think Caster even got some at one point.
Yes. And then we had Moxley throwing Bowens out of the ring like so quickly. It was like so unexpected. And then Caster gets taken out by a suicide dive from Moxley. He just comes in out of nowhere from the ring, like in between.
Dude, he kept flying out. Yeah, I think it's called like a Suiciana or something like that. I never say it correctly.
Yeah, but the commentator
he's
said
gotten
it
so fast.
This episode in particular, I was gonna say there was a lot going. It was so fast paced, and like for a lot of the moves, I was trying to like pause it so you get like the perfect shot. But they're just so like they are moving so much.
Yeah,
it's so
especially
hard
in this one, and Moxley leaning down. Pardon me, Moxley really leaning down and kind of coming into his new body weight and then really his new mindset, and he was just moving around, man. He was a lot of fun to watch tonight.
Yeah, they definitely kept that like level of aggression up, like building and building and building like progressively as the match was going on. And then Moxley is Bowens like over the second rope in this like, I don't even know what you call this. He's got like his elbow in his like face halfway.
Oh yeah, he had him draped out. He was hanging him out to dry. I think from there, he nailed him with the DDT after that too.
Like, he sure did. And Bowens was like, I'm not taking your crap anymore. And yeah, so Bowens tries to pin him down, but we see that doesn't work out. And then we see he tries to bring a speaker out.
Yeah,
he's like
old
trying to
tried
take the
true
speaker,
boombox.
But the ref is like, dude, didn't even let that go on for like 60 seconds. She immediately takes it away from him. And then he's like, okay, cool. I'll bring out some chains as a weapon.
Yeah, like Caster tossed it up to him, and he tried to, and that was a pretty nasty hit, but that wasn't enough to keep Moxley down. And they
No,
were
it
at one point they were out in the audience fighting, and it was pretty smart. You know, you wouldn't think of Moxley for being like using his head in the ring. He's more of a brute, right? Just a real strong guy. But him kind of giving Aubrey that little thumbs up and kind of giving her some props definitely made her give him a little bit more I guess you know, because he was getting away with a lot of stuff in this match, and then she was staying on top of the Acclaim the entire time, making sure Caster was staying out of it and he wasn't interfering. So it was a smart move for Moxley to do that and kind of blow her ego up a bit, because it helped him out a lot.
It definitely did. And then we get a paradigm. I believe that's how it's
the
called.
Paradigm. Yeah,
Paradigm.
That was great. Yeah.
We get the paradigm shift for the win from Moxley. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, the Paradigm Driver. It was fantastic. Dude, he was out. He stood no chance after that. It was just done.
Yeah.
You know, I heard Taz, he said, one of the announcers, he said that he actually broke his neck a few years back doing one of those moves, and he was out for 9 months.
No way.
On that same move that Bowden took.
Yikes. That looks painful.
It's a serious thing, yeah.
And then backstage, we see Bryan Danielson. I believe that's his name.
Yeah. American Dragon.
Like, and Moxley's like, hey guys, I'm here. Look at me.
Oh, they're starting to brew that beef. Like, Bryan Danielson definitely wants a piece of Moxley, especially now that he's back. He's like, nah, this is it, man. We're gonna go at it. Especially after, you know, he wasn't able to put Paige away.
It's true. So then we get backstage. We see Nyla Rose, and she's making fun of Ruby Soho and like her guitar moves, and she's like doing her little guitar, like mimicking her, and basically saying, "You better get ready because they are actually going head to head next Wednesday on Dynamite."
Yeah, Queen Karen back there, her manager. Excuse me. God, she drives me nuts.
Is that really her name? Because it's fitting
Vicky.
For her. Okay.
It's Vicky. Icky Vicky.
Vicky. Icky Vicky. Alrighty, and then we move on at backstage, and we see Andres trying to sign Darby.
Yeah.
So unexpected, and then he's like, "Hell no, absolutely not, dude."
He was kind of offended.
Yeah, he was like in his dressing room that was like extremely empty. There was like nothing in there.
That's a big part of like his personality. He would say he was like he was living under bridges and sleeping in cars. What makes you think I care about money? Well, dude, you did all those things, so you should care about money. You know how important it is.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on, we see Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson versus FTR. Which is exciting because this is like, it starts off really, really fast. I mean, we don't even see an entrance from these guys. They are just like out in the ring. First, we see Johnson and Wheeler, and they're starting for their teams. They've got like quick exchanges going back and forth.
Oh, this was a great match, man. I love watching FTR, and it's so neat to watch them and how they can really adapt and change their style to whoever they're going up against. They can go hard style, they can go AAA lucha style, or just come in with like this really old school kind of brute wrestling, which is what we were seeing most of that match, was just some real old school stuff.
Yeah, we saw like this cool move. He's got him in like this. He got him from like underneath in the crotch and like is holding him up like that. I mean, and then my mic, and then he like pins him. He like threw him over, and yeah, that was just like this wildly epic move.
Yeah, it was really neat, and that was one of those old school moves. Just a nice hook and scoop, you know, belly to back, body slam, just some cool stuff. They were just beating the crap out of each other in this one.
Yeah, they were. I mean, going back and forth, and then we see Anderson is tagged in, so the crowd is like rowdy about that. And then Hardwood's tagged in. So in the room, we've got Anderson, we've got Hardwood, but they're going back and forth, and it doesn't really last long. It was like maybe like a minute and a half, and then immediately they tag both of their partners. So we've got 4 of them all in the ring. This was them going like back and forth. There wasn't too much happening, but out of nowhere, like within so quickly, we get all 4 of them in the ring.
Oh, it was madness. And they weren't holding anything back, you know. And Anderson, he's I didn't realize this until the announcers were actually talking about it, but I guess his father was a great wrestler from a long time, and they kept saying how much he looked like him and really just kind of mimicking him. It's neat to kind of see that too.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then Arn's team took out FTR with like this double like team move. They like teamed up from the side, like one on each side of the ring, and just bopped him. And then it would happen so fast, and it like cuts to like Johnson scoring this like high body cross. I think I've got like he like goes from the top, and he's just like flying in.
He turned mid-air. It was a spinning frog splash. It was insane. They had some really cool moves. We got to see a blockbuster in this match too, which is just devastating. I mean, there's some like really cool stuff.
There was a few moves I like haven't seen. I was like, oh, we're whipping out new moves today, guys.
Yeah, leave it to FTR, man. They show off every match.
Yeah, they sure do. And then we got Johnson with his, you know, he's all savvy. He gets in there, but he's got his like foot. He's with Wheeler, and Wheeler's got his like foot hooked onto the rope, so he's like can kind of try to get out of it.
Yeah, that was their chance. After that like trio of nasty moves and then that spinning frog splash, that should have put him out. But that's that experience. He had the wherewithal, you know, the kind of mind to be like, wait, foot, got the rope, and that's what saved him. That would have put him away if he was a little bit further away, and that really showed the inexperience of pardon me. That really showed the inexperience. What was it, Johnson? No.
FTR.
Who got that? Yeah.
Right?
Anyway.
FTR.
That really kind of showed. It's like, dude, he should have pulled him out and pulled him back away from those ropes and really set that in the correct way. So yeah, it was Johnson. So I had to go back and look at the notes. It's like, who got the cover? So yeah, that's who it was. But see, if he would have just pulled him back just a little bit, that would have been enough. But
yeah, and then like on top of the fact that like FDR hits Johnson with this like spike pile driver, he like then like hovers over him like afterwards. It was pretty epic. And then we see the both of them holding up their belts, super proud, like we are the champs. We know we're like all that.
That was Anderson and Johnson's chance to put it away. And FDR, they came back, that they were able to get their second win and put them away.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like kind of towards like the middle of the match, my money was leaning towards Johnson.
Yeah.
Because he's just got this, he pulls out these like acrobatic, like crazy moves, and he has these tactics of like getting out of these like really wonky positions that they put him in.
Yeah. He's very athletic, very smart and fast, and he knows how to use the entire ring to his advantage. Every bit of it, the ropes, the posts, even outside of it, to really kind of put those guys where they need it. And I'm with you, man. I was kind of surprised. FTR was really kind of, I don't know if they were hungover, they had too many natty lights the night before or what, but they were kind of looking like, but they came back. They didn't disappoint.
They did not disappoint. And so then backstage, we see Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa, and they're getting ready for next Friday, where they're about to go. Things are about to go down.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that one. That one's gonna be a great match.
Yes, I love me a good Thunder Rosa fight. I mean, she's just so cool.
She's a badass.
She is a badass.
She's fun to watch.
Yes, and I don't know if you know this, she has like her own like vlog channel, and it's like so weird to see her like be normal and like eat tacos and like go have like lunch with her friends. I'm like, oh my god, you're not like beating the crap out of another person? What?
Well, yeah, you can't fight 24/7. She'd be in jail. Just take out all the daily frustration. She has the kind of job where she can just let all that out.
Yeah, good for her. So I'm excited for that. And then we see Jade Cargill and Julia Hart, and Julia Hart still got that stinking eye patch on. Man, I mean, Malachi Black really messed her up with that venomous mist there.
This match should have never happened. This was a smash match that should not have happened. Not only is she handicapped, but she's a rookie. She's, I mean, literally half the size of Cargill.
Yeah, and Cargill's like this like built up muscular girl. I mean, she is like one to not be messed with.
Yeah, she's torn up.
Yeah, it's crazy because prior to this, like she had no wrestling experience. Like she just kind of went into this and she's getting her experience as she's going. And it's crazy to see how freaking amazing. Like it's like natural, I guess. Like her physique is insane.
Yeah, and that's just it. I think we've talked about it before. It has a lot to do with genetics, and she just has a natural ability that most people don't, which sharpens her learning curve. So on top of, you know, being in great shape, she's very smart, she's passionate, and she puts in the time. So it really doesn't matter how good a shape you are. If you don't put in that time and that passion, you're not going to grow. And she does all of that and has that physical genetic advantage. And she's just, I mean, she's still undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, look at her. She is epic. She's got this like red, like sparkly outfit. I kind of loved her outfit last night.
Yeah, she's got style on top of it.
Yes. And she's a mom. Like she does it all. She really does. And we had the first of the 2 title matches on this week's show where we see the TBS championship is on the line between the 2 of these girls right now. But like I said, I think this is like kind of unfair because like, come on, we all knew where this was going. There wasn't like, oh my God, what's the predictions? Like, no, we knew Cargill was winning.
Yeah. And did it pretty quick too. I think she hit her with that punt kick right in her dead eye and then jaded her.
Yes. So she like starts in by like locking her in good by the neck. We see that move like quite a few times actually. And like Hart's in this headlock, but then gets like knocked down by this running shoulder. So on top of the fact she's getting in the neck, she's in this like neck hold, and then she's on the floor in a running shoulder, which looked extremely painful, like right in the right shoulder.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She was getting bullied.
Yeah, and then we get a spinning backbreaker from Cargill. Like this girl has the strength of I don't even know what.
and the technique is nearly perfect. She spun her around, which is important too, because you really don't want to break bones and stuff out there. And if you hit those moves in the wrong way, man, people get hurt. And it's like you want to hurt them, but you don't want to send them to the hospital, you know?
Yeah. And it was actually kind of funny because they're like going back and forth and like the crowd's going wild, like screaming like Cargill, Cargill, Cargill. And then like Hart at this point, she doesn't even like get a chance to do much. Like she's not even like getting to really like show any sort of dominance in the match at all, really. Like to the point where like Cargill's like doing like handstands and she's doing like sit-ups.
Yeah.
Like, just like let me get an extra workout in while I'm here.
Beating that ass isn't enough. I'm gonna have to get a few extra push-ups in.
A few extra calories can't hurt. And yeah, I mean, she got jaded.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was right at the end. Yeah, so it's that big punk kick to her dead eye, and then jaded her, put her down. And look at that insult to injury. She like sits on her face for the pin.
Yes, and she's got like she's like screaming up in the air. She's like, I got this in my bag. Like I already knew I was gonna get this.
Yeah, it was kind of like seeing a cat play with a lizard.
Yeah. She like radiates this like bad bitch confidence that like I don't know. I need to channel my inner Jade.
I think that's like her slogan, like that bitch.
She's that bitch. She's definitely that bitch.
I love how like the announcers were all hesitant to say it. They're like that. Well, you know.
So we see her, you know, with the TBS championship belt. She's like, I don't think she's surprised by it, but she's really excited. And so is the crowd. I mean, she deserves it. Like we said, she's really amazing for what she does. Then next up, we see a tag team versus Jurassic Express and the Private Party. But they kind of start off backstage before they like actually start, which I thought was a little different.
Yeah, they'll usually do that with the bigger matches. And what I noticed is like most like this match is really because Christian and Hardy have beef from like years ago.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and it kind of came out in that little backstage stuff and like, oh, you've been scared of me and dodging me for years and blah blah blah. So it's like they really don't want to wrestle anymore. So they just have their team. It's like, you go out there, you go fight for me. And that's what we saw is like their tag team fighting
Yes.
for them.
So in the main event, we see the Private Party. They come out first, and they've got these like cool sunglasses on them. But you know, we all know they're not going to be able to keep those on. They'll get knocked off real quick in that match. And we also see Jurassic Express come out.
Yeah. Jungle Boy.
Jungle
I
Boy.
love seeing him come out, man. The crowd goes nuts.
They do.
Insane. It's the song. You know, I was in the gas station a few weeks back and that song came on and I thought of Jungle Boy. And I was like, that's it, man. You know it's a good song when you hear it and you think of someone else. You know, it's like, oh, damn you, man.
And we had a few exciting people ringside. We had Matt Hardy and the Blade, and they're just there kind of on the side showing some support there.
Oh, that was the Gun Crew.
Oh,
so Hardy was out there. Yeah, Hardy was out there with Butcher. They came walking out, but in the stage that was the Gun Club, Billy Gunn's kids.
Yes. So they're there showing their support, and like Private Party, I feel like they got the early lead in the very, very beginning because they were like double teaming Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus like very quickly once they get tagged in the ring.
It was great seeing how well they were working together. Their experience as a tag team and kind of working together really showed through. They've been practicing, man, and it showed. I was impressed.
It sure does. Yeah. And then he like takes out the Blade and Hardy ringside, and then he drops Isaiah Cassidy on the apron. Hardy is getting like a chair. We see this like chair come out of nowhere.
He's playing dirty, man. Leave it to Hardy.
Yeah, he is playing dirty. I mean, he's doing this all meanwhile, and you can kind of see the ref in the back there. And he's like making sure the ref is like distracted while he's like bringing this chair out, being super sneaky about it.
Oh, I know. I think at one point you could hear the crowd even chant, "Ref, you suck." Ref,
yes.
you suck. And he was, man. He must have been paid off, or I don't know, man. He did not have his head in the game.
He sure didn't. And then we finally see Luchasaurus. He gets tagged back in, and he's like, you know, he's like pretty strong guy. I mean, he's like throwing them over, dominating, but he's like trying to, you know, tag his boy Jungle Boy, but they are just on his ankles, like not letting him. He's got double weight on his ankles.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing Luchasaurus kind of get dominated like that. They did a really good job kind of shutting him down and putting him down and really giving him a hurting. And you don't see that very often because, like you said, that dude's massive and he's fast and he's good.
Yeah. It's like two little kids on his ankle just trying to hold on, not let it.
I've done that with my nephews. Yeah. Just like on the floor.
Like, don't leave.
That's too funny. I didn't even think about that.
Right.
Oh, geez,
and then Cassidy is like able somehow to get to like the top rope, but Jungle Boy climbed with him. He's like, "Oh no, you're not going there by yourself, buddy." And then they totally just like dive out of the ring. So we see them kind of all like collapse outside of the ring.
Jungle Boy was really kind of getting some aerials in.
Yeah, he sure was. I mean, he like picked up Quen and like stole his partner. And it was crazy. I mean, Cassidy tries to like hit a crossbody, but Jungle Boy like turns it into this slam, and we think it's about to be over because he's got him in, and we're counting, but we only get a 2 count. Yeah,
and then you don't see people break out of the snare trap very often. It was pretty surprising.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like it was wild.
Yeah.
And so Jurassic Express recovered from that, and they hit their finisher for the win.
Yeah, and it was a great win. I think it was really just kind of trying to get their head in the right space. I think they were they got hit hard and they got hit fast. And I don't think they were ready for it. And it really kind of put them off their game and off their step. And it showed there for a little while. Finally, they kind of got into the rhythm and did what we all knew what was going to happen. They were going to come in and win and beat them down. But they put up a good fight. I was impressed. It was a really, really good match. It was a lot of fun to watch too.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot that went on. And then out of nowhere, we see the Gun Club. They come out on stage and in the ring. And I'm like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah, they got beef with Jungle Boy.
Oh, boy. And that was our last match of the night. When it was over, I was like, I feel like I had to debrief from everything that happened because there was just so much. My anxiety was at an all-time high watching all this going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a few matches, but it didn't leave you wanting more. It was a great episode. These guys really came out and I mean, they were all great matches.
They were. And I think it's time that we give the fight card rating.
Yeah.
So here on Take It to the Ring, we like to give a fight card rating. So let's start with number 5, which is Fight Forever.
Yeah.
We've got number 4.
Go for it.
Which is This Is Awesome.
Yep.
And number 3 is You Still Got It.
Yep.
And number 2 is What?
Yep.
Number 1 is Boring. Watch us instead. Just save your time. But honestly, I've got to say, this is a 4, a 3-4. I mean, there definitely was a lot of high intensity movements and movements that I haven't seen before. But I think that when there's just so much happening at once, it gets really hard to kind of understand what's happening, especially when there's constant tag in and out.
Oh yeah.
Which I feel happened a lot in this episode.
Well, and that's what keeps the pace fast and makes it very enjoyable.
Yeah. So it's
I would definitely give this one a solid 3 for sure. You got to get some more chairs in, some more blood to get a 4 from me. And that go ahead.
I think it definitely could have been a little more gruesome. There was just so much intensity, but it wasn't gruesome.
Yeah,
enough.
and that, like we said, the Cargill and Julia match should have never happened. It was a squash match. Yeah, it was fun to watch. It's always cool seeing Cargill. Should have never happened. We all knew what was going to happen in that match. And for a squash match, I'd like to see way more squash. She could have destroyed that poor little girl if she wanted to. And I would have been totally okay with it.
She made it too easy for her.
Right.
We actually got a comment. So let's pin this comment up. They said that unified TNT title match was cool and reminds me of Shawn and Razor.
Yeah. That was on Dynamite, right? The unification match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the debut of Danhausen. Yeah, we saw that on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was on Dynamite. That was, but that was all cool news though. Yeah, Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God. Sammy took that one, combined in both belts. That was a great ladder match. And Danhausen coming out was in the Orange Cassidy Adam Cole match at the very end.
Yeah,
that was some cool news.
Honestly, I have to say, I kind of liked Wednesday's episode a little better.
So I'm going to be a little partial and say the same. I mean, that Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy match was fantastic, man. Same with Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes. That ladder match was insane.
Honestly, I think the reason why the Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy was so epic was because they had that built up tension from the week before because of that incidental that happened with Britt Baker and that whole situation. So Adam Cole was already pissed off coming into this.
Yeah, so and they've had beef for a while too. That wasn't the first time that Orange had been hit with that nut shot from Cole. So he ended up getting what he needed at the end.
Nice
but that was a good episode. I think that's why this one, not to say it wasn't a good episode, it's just coming off of that Dynamite episode on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of riding down that high. So, guys, it was a great episode, but I don't know about a 4. That's why I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
But still great. I mean, definitely gave us everything we wanted to see.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah. You guys are great. Be sure to take a moment to like, share,
and subscribe, of course. And check out our sweet merch. Just click that link right there below. Ladies, there's some awesome stuff for you too.
Yes, there sure is. And for some more WrestleCap videos, be sure to click the link down below and you'll see all of our WrestleCap videos. Until next time, I'm Lexi.
And Billy here.